What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you stopping by for the first time, if you see something that you like during this video, please don't forget to subscribe at some point. Those of you stopping by that have been here before, welcome back to TLTG Reviews, my friends. Glad you came to see me. So, one that I finally got my hands on recently. It gets the least amount of love in the line from what I can see. Today we're going to discuss my thoughts on it. From Guerlain, L'Homme Ideal Sport. Stay tuned. So L'Homme Ideal Sport. First and foremost, we're going to take a look at this box presentation. So as you can see, it's the standard L'Homme Ideal style box, size and concentration on the bottom, Guerlain logo on the top, nothing going on the side, information on there, some information on the back, and then batch code UPC on the bottom. Now looking at this bottle, this is, blue and gray are my two favorite colors, so naturally I love the blue. So the glass is tinted blue, of course the sides all the way around are painted blue. You have a sticker with batch code information on the bottom, Guerlain logo on top of the cap, Guerlain logo on top of the atomizer, nice wide spray, great atomizer. Oh man, and that juice. This one shocked me. It really did. I was kind of expecting the smell that I got from it, but we'll get in that in a second. So I do love the way these look. This line, even though they're just square bottles, they do the concave and the glass. These are nice. These are very nice. I've always thought that about the entire line. I love the L'Homme Ideal, or Ideal, however you like to say it, bottles. For that on the presentation, I do give it an 8 out of 10. Now let's jump into this scent. So this is classified as a woody aquatic. I'll put the notes right there for you. So what do I get in the opening? So in the opening, it's extremely watery. You get the almond and a lot of it right off the top. And you do get light spices in the background. So it's kind of a light peppery spice. It's not overly spicy, but it's definitely there in the opening. And then once this transition hits, it's much more watery. The almond's still heavily present. The neroli does come in, and it doesn't so much add a white floral quality to my nose. It does add a little bit of soapiness with the wateriness, making it even more aquatic, in my opinion. The spices still maintain very light in the background. They never really come to the forefront and become real powerful. But what does change for me in the transition is on my skin, I don't know if the rest of you get this that have tried it, it's patchouli heavy. It's a lot of patchouli. The patchouli really becomes the star on my skin after about 15 or 20 minutes. It's watery, it's creamy almond, and it's patchouli. That's the three biggest takeaways off of my skin with this juice. It's a great fresh aquatic with some depth and some body. So in the dry down, the almond starts to fade. It lightens up more and more as time goes on. You would think the almond would stay present like it does in the other ones, but the almond being in the top, it does tend to fade a bit more in the dry down. The tonka never really jumps out and shines. It does get a tiny little sweet powderiness in the background, and I mean ever so tiny touch. Like I said, the tonka bean never really just jumps out and says, hey, tonka bean. But the patchouli, it maintains, and it's a very strong, prominent player off of my skin. The vetiver does come in the midway through the transition. I would say about 45 minutes in, vetiver starts to come in. It's very clean, does freshen it up a little bit more, and it maintains in the dry down. There's a clean, grassy freshness with that patchouli. Because I'm telling you, this is a patchouli heavy fragrance off of my skin. It surprised me. I was not expecting that. If you look on Fragrantica, patchouli is not even in the top 5 of notes that people report smelling. It's on the back end, and on my skin, the patchouli is prominent. I love the way this one smells. I could see how some would think this one's kind of weird. because it is different. It's very different. This is the one that gets the least amount of love in the line from what I can see. I really enjoy this one. I think it's a great scent that's underrated. I think more people need to give this one a chance. There are carded samples out there that you can get for $2 and $3. Sample this one. You might end up loving this one. If for Grantica, the 100 ml bottle's around 45-ish with the coupon code, which I'll link below if you want to check it out. I didn't check. I'm not sure if they have any samples right now, but the first time I tried L'Homme Ideal, the EDT, I bought a carded sample from FragranceNet just to see if I'd like the almond note. And it turns out I love that. This one's different. It's a water, the best way I can describe it, the three most prominent things off of my skin: watery almond patchouli. Sounds strange, but it works. For that, I give this an 8 out of 10 in the scent category. Now, longevity. So I did get 6 hours on my skin. It's about what you would expect. Even with it having almond, I actually get better performance out of the cologne, the citrus heavy white bottle. I actually get better performance out of that than I do out of this one, believe it or not. This is actually the weakest performing one on my skin, with it being 6 hours, because I do tend to get 7 to 8 hours on all of the rest of them. L'Intense, Eau de Parfum, which I've tested on my hand, on my wrist a few times, as well as the L'Intense. Cool, which I've worn, Cologne, which I've worn many times. I tend to get 7 to 8 hours with those. I only get 6 with this one until it's a very, a faint skin scent, which is still okay for an aquatic, for the price, for the quality of the scent. I do give it a 7 out of 10 in longevity. Projection. That first hour, you're looking arm's length. It's not overly heavy. It's in that moderate range. And then it starts to sit pretty close to the skin after the first hour, I find. Leaving a mild scent trail for the first few hours. I would say really getting close to the skin at the 4 hour mark, to where you'll just get little wafts here and there. People got to really get close to you to smell it at that point, or it has to be a light breeze and they get kind of close to you to really be able to pick it up. For that, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 in projection. Overall, Guerlain L'Homme Ideal Sport, in my opinion, is a 7.5 out of 10 fragrance. I think this one's underrated. I think more people should sample it and give it a try. Cologne gets all the hype. The Eau de Parfum is the second most hyped, I find, for the, the cooler weather. The warmer weather is always the Cologne. More people need to try this. Sample this, give it a shot. You might end up liking it, because in my experience, the entire line's good. Every single one that's come out's good. Haven't got my hands on the extreme yet, obviously, but I will. I have the other 6, and they're all good. They're all worth owning. They all have their differences. Guerlain did wonderful with this line. This is just the only Guerlains I own are from this line, and it's fantastic. I would highly suggest the entire line if you were looking to grab a whole line. And this is probably the most underrated and overlooked from the line. And until next time, do me a real quick favor, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate all the feedback. I love hearing from you guys. How many of you love it, hate it, grabbed it, released it, swear by it? Let me know in the comments. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on L'Homme Ideal Sport and you give it a spray, who knows? You might end up thanking me later. Have a good one, guys.